Adeɛ kye na adeɛ sa na yɛte nsɛm foforo ɛwɔ ɔman Ghana ha. Na waba ayehu TV deɛ na kyerɛ nsɛmpa fie ɛna kyerɛ wabɛn. Ɛyɛ NDC executive Polepole nsia ɛna ɔmo agyina sempie so ɛne apawa so ɛde nsɛm bi ato dwa kyerɛ Emra ɔmo NDC for repre aba no ɔmo hyɛ bɔ ɛkyerɛ ɛyɛ ɔmo de ɔmo ba Boku entoka no adeɛ sɛ ɔmo besi ano kwan a ɔmo begyae entoka no ko. Na isim sɛ NDC ɛbɛtena ase. Ɔmo abitwi ɔmo dada ɔmo adeceive ɔmo a kyerɛ asɛm a ɔmo kan yɛ no ɔmo enyi ɛho hwee ɛna sɛ kwa deɛ Boku ntoka na ado apen so sɛ kwa de ɛyɛ west sɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɛbae nti ɔmo de tinton time nyanto a enyantua nti sɛ die omo endi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene NDC ama yekuo ni mu bio echi nti omo resign a omo de omo nkata aba emonten so na yebekọ na yakotie omo anodi nsem ni bi
NDC executives a omo oboko na omo yekusasifo 6 of them omo holding press conference ese omo so omo ban ne dada o eti omo resign yankoni nkoti Dani yanku botrom
traditional area and the press conference dated 15 July 2025. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we begin by expressing our profound gratitude to Almighty God for preserving our lives in these perilous times. We also thank you, the men and women of the media, for promptly responding to our urgent call in this critical moment of betrayal, bloodshed, and impunity. We, the undersigned National Democratic Congress constituency executives.
We, the undersigned, hold on. We, the undersigned National Democratic Congress constituency executives. So we are people for NECA. We are NDC for executives. And we are near there. We must say in one more day.
For traditional areas, Denjuri, Boku Central, Tusiga, Garu, Tempani and Zabila stand before you today, deeply alarmed and outraged by the deteriorating security situation in Baku and the total failure of this government to protect the land.
The total failure of their government, this government, the NDC government.
Of the very people who gave them power. On July 30, 2025, the people of Kusab woke up to what can only be described as a state-sponsored assault, not only on civilians, but on the very soul and authority of our traditional leadership. In an appalling and indefensible act, the military desecrated the image of our revered overlord, His Royal Majesty Zuran Bokunaba, by setting ablaze his statue, an act so vile and provocative it amounts to declaration of war on the people of Kusab. The justification for this barbarity, a reported attack by unknown persons on Mampusi houses and the military escort. While we do not condone violence in any form, no civilized or lawful state responds by massacring innocent.
Okay, so it's okay. Gobi, General, the 2088 and said, no, Boko for ne, Mampusi for ne, soldier for ne escort. So, per security arrangement, the soldiers are escorting the Sekusasi for ne, Koboku area, Mampusi for, not soldier for escort. Say, Bokono, so Mampusi for no medal. It's in case one move a Tramuna, the Adiana, one befa a Kusasi townships no soldier for no aye and ye near synchrophobia attack soldier for na one believe say Kusasi for no ye no soldier for na retaliate abubu statues in the idea of a ye nuanum Kusasi for now ye nuanum Kusasi for are saying that the more by no affail your mama capitalized on their grief for political gains and yet when they came to power it is very obvious so when your mama just solve a problem but rather they will capitalize on it omo MP mama yaraga wababeka and at this attack I will not make any comment because I won't comment mama yaraga nyame de betuaka
we any nsema omonso e de atutudwa NDC executives back 6 and acheso omonso e de nsema atutudwa wonso wati bi mind to aso na nhwe video no.
Now, if we say she's appealing, I'm not altogether clear where she's appealing because the matters that were before the Supreme Court, yes, the substantive matters are pending. So maybe the other way to put it is that some of these matters are indirectly pending. You know, she has the ECOWAS court case.
Right.
But that one is outside Ghana.
Of the country's jurisdiction.
So, but you know, the High Court usually, that's how come usually will be safer to see the detailed reasons of the court. So that if the court meant the ECOWAS court, okay, then that means that the Ghanaian courts take the decision that if you go to ECOWAS, they will listen.
Right.
But you know, for the ECOWAS court, they have a principle that if your case is pending in the domestic court, you can still come to them and they will listen.
Yes.
But if our Ghanaian court is saying no for them, if you go to ECOWAS, don't come here, okay, that means that we are shaping a different jurisprudence for our internal consumption. Okay, so let's get the detailed reasons and then see that is really within.
Right.
Because you see, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you. Perhaps you make that point, then I'll come in.
Okay. Yes, because you see, our courts, yes, want to maximize the use of resources. You know, we don't have much resources to go around. So if the court finds that, look, these matters you are complaining about, they are also before the ECOWAS court, and so the court doesn't have any appetite to deal with it, fine. But the court also makes the case that there is no jurisdiction at all. That is the one that we have to explore to see. Meaning that the court says that all issues like this should deal with the Supreme Court. So like I said, that's new learning. Because ordinarily, a lot of us thought that the High Court can go into these matters. But if the court takes the decision takes the view that no, once it's Article 146 for them, it should be the Supreme Court, what will happen is that then this area has to be developed. So Justice Tokono has a right to go on appeal. Let's see if she will take that decision. Then the law around this area will be properly developed.
Right.
You know, we don't have many cases around this area. So it's difficult to stick out one's neck and say the court is right or wrong. Because for a lot of us, we thought that, yes, she could go to the High Court. But the High Court says there's no jurisdiction, then let's see what an appeal will do. And then finally, a further appeal to the Supreme Court.
It's important you make that point, because the next question I was going to ask is whether or not the grounds for a judicial review are not entirely different from what the substantive case is before the Supreme Court, where they are seeking to enforce possible provisions of the Constitution or interpret provisions of the Constitution. So what you're saying is, these are uncharted waters again for us, which possibly we all as a country have to be doing some new learning on.
Absolutely. Your summary is very informed. Yeah, it means you really understand the case. Yes, that's all that I was trying to say. Yes.